Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is November the 24th, 2024. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. We had a Sunday fun day, if you will, despite still being a bit sick. I will say I woke up feeling a bit better at like 3 in the morning. So I was like, hey, an extra hour. Okay. Nature maybe is healing. Maybe we're getting a bit better. And later on, took a little bit more. Like, I took a nap, I guess you could say. And that was nice. Like, I woke up and I was like, okay, I think this is the best I've woken up all week, and I think now clocking it, it's about 7 days. So that's good. Obviously, I'm sure you can still hear the congestion and whatnot. Still been coughing. But overall, I'm feeling a lot better. I feel a little bit more coherent. Feels like there's less mucus rattling around my brain. But yeah, I'm still a little bit. I was planning on hanging out with a friend, and I felt so bad. I always feel bad when I have to cancel on somebody, rain check, especially right now too, because it's like next week is Thanksgiving. It's not like you can just be like, hey man, I'll definitely see you next week. Like, so felt bad about that. But it's just I've been so wall to wall like ever since we started doing like daily working out, like daily gym time. Ooh. And also it was funny too. I ran into a coworker today, and he's like, "You really weren't joking. You really show up every day, huh?" I'm like, "Yeah, man. There's no lazy Sunday for me, boy. No lazy Sunday for me, boss." So yeah. It's overall though been a good day. We did grocery shopping. Like I said, we did some gym. What else did we do? Actually, okay. So let's just go full block. Let's talk about what I did today. Um, I was working out, right, and this has been a pending problem. So, my shoes, like I bought a new pair of shoes. They were like some Vans in July. I'm sure I talked about it during that time or whatever, right? It is November, about to be December. These shoes are already trash, and I'm like, what is happening? Like, what is going on? And I realize now that, like, now that I'm older, like back when I was younger, I used to be a big sneakerhead. So I had about like 20 plus maybe shoes, and I would always cycle through so many of them throughout a given week. And I feel like that allowed me to preserve my shoes for a lot longer because I wasn't wearing any one pair of shoes for too long. It'd be like one day you swap them out, one day you swap them out. Sure, you might wear, 2 to 3 pairs of shoes in a week, but those are like your faves, right? But now that I've gotten older and I don't care about shoes as much, and I kind of focus like, hey, I'm gonna buy these pair of shoes and I'm gonna wear these shoes for work and the gym. I just tear them apart apparently. So I was like, okay, I'm like on this ankle like flexing machine, and I'm like using it, and I'm just seeing my shoes just open up, mouth like agape on all sides, like just the bottom part of the soles just like asunder. And I'm like, all right, Isaiah, we gotta do something. And y'all know how I mentioned how I got a pair of shoes, last week. It's like, well, why don't you just use those pairs of shoes? And it's like, I would, but those shoes are slotted for a wedding that I'm going to be a part of in December. Not a part of, but I'm going to show up in. It's a sneaker theme, so you got to wear a pair of those sneakers. And I'm like, okay, I need to have a nice pair of sneakers for that. That's just the way my vanity works. I definitely wasn't going to go through with a pair of chewed up Vans. So I was like, all right, I need another pair of shoes for like tomorrow. I just can't do this. Like, I just don't want to walk around looking like I got the Hoboville ones. You know what I mean? I just don't want that. So I was, and I don't want to go to the mall either. Like that physically, emotionally, spiritually drained me in ways that I'm not ready to go back to, especially during like Christmas rush season. No, thank you. So I said, you know what? What can we do, Isaiah? And I brainstormed until I got a fucking Jimmy Neutron Blame Blast. I'm sure I can say that better. Jimmy Neutron Brain Blast. Ugh, the pregame's killing me right now. And I was like, let's just go to Meyer. They have shoes. I'm sure they have a pair of something decent I can wear, and that'll work. That'll be fine. So I go to Meyer, which, mind you, that means I'm at 2 different grocery stores in the same day. So love that for me. But that's literally better than going to the mall even once in a week. I'm cool on that now. So I'm rifling through all the shoes that they got at Meyer, And at first I was like, okay, let me go with this gray pair of Adidas's. They got this little bit of blue trim on the back. I don't like that. But hey, these are good shoes. Probably they'll probably hold up hopefully a decent amount, right? Maybe so. But I'm just not sold on them. I really wanted a pair of New Balances just because I've never owned a pair, and I was like, now that I'm 34 years old, dad wear is kind of in for me. I kind of fuck with it. So I kept going back to the New Balances area of the Meijer, like, what y'all got here? Maybe there's something I'm missing. And sure enough, there was this black pair that was literally the black pair that I wanted to get, but it would have been like $118 for a pair of New Balances that I would have had to have shipped to me. I was good on that. I was cool on that. So that was the same pair pretty much. And I was like, ooh, for like what, 80 bucks? Let's fucking go. Let's go. So I got those, some insoles, because once again, I am 34 years old. I'm geriatric at this point. And I was like, all right, let's go. Let's get out of here. So I was happy to get a little bit of an emergency shoe session, if you will. I'm glad I was able to afford that. Shout out to just working all the time, and hopefully, I can make it through. I think we're good financially. I'm hoping not to freak out for the rest of this year. Hopefully we don't have any of those intros. But yeah, that's been the day so far. I know I kind of went a little bit longer than usual, and we're actually not done because before the startup, I'm gonna do another Bev tasting. It's another Red Bull. So let me go ahead and pull that out right now. Give me 1 second. All right. Now, this isn't a new one, but it's new to me. This is Red Bull, the Sea Blue edition. And this is Juneberry. Now, I'm going to look up real quick because I'm a dummy. Y'all know I'm not the smartest guy, even though I'm doing news and all this kind of stuff. What is a Juneberry? What is a Juneberry? Okay, let's look it up. A shadbush. Okay. I'm looking at it. Okay, they look like very grape-like. All right. So anyway, that is wild plum. So it's maybe like a little plum-like nature that we're maybe gonna taste here. Is the vibe? Is the energy? But yeah, let's see. Let's find out. Let's crack it open. All right. See if I like it. Ooh. Okay. I kind of dig that. It's definitely got like a fruity flavor. Oh, okay. I know exactly what I can equate this to. This to me tastes just like the Trolley Very Berries. The like pound for pound. If I just shoved like a handful of those in my mouth, especially if there was like a lot of the red blue ones, boom, spot on. Like the same thing. Or maybe not the red blue ones, whatever. I think they're the purple blue ones I'm tasting. Yeah. If I just have like a bunch of the purple blue ones in my mouth, it would be like that. So yeah. Oh yeah. I will say though, I've always hated this. Like Red Bull gets away with murder on their sizing. They literally give you the smallest, skinniest little cans, and they try to charge you like $3.50 for them. Oh, 2 for $5. Like, dude, I'm once again gonna go back to Moss or Monster or Moss or Nos or Monster because like I'm just getting better value here. You know what I mean? And I'm not even getting to the logistics on like how much caffeine or anything like that. And let's not even talk about calories. I've noticed that more since I've like been working out. I don't count calories like heavily, but I've always like kind of had like a bit of a rough estimate because I used to have a dietitian when I was a kid, and I always hate when I look at beverages because it's like, dude, why does this have calories in it? It just always bugs me. It always bums me out. Like that's a thing. But that's why people like sugar free. But I'm sorry, I hate sugar free things. They always gross me out. They're never good. More times than not, they make you want to shit more. It's like I hate that shit, man. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna have one more sip and then we're gonna do our startup and then we'll get into some news. I promise. Yummy, yummy. Oh yeah, did I mention what the New Balances? They're all black. I love that. Murdered Out. I went from all black forces to all black New Balances. Look at me go. Ooh. All right. From the Associated Press. Student is arrested on charges of spying on the U.S. for Russia. A Norwegian student in his 20s was arrested on suspicion of spying for Russia and Iran while working as a guard for the U.S. Embassy in Oslo, authorities in Norway have said. The man, who has not been identified, was ordered to be held in custody for 4 weeks. He runs a security company jointly with a dual national of Norway and an unspecified Eastern European country, according to Norwegian public broadcaster NRK. Also, police said Friday they would review the company's operating license. Norway's domestic intelligence agency, PST, said Thursday night that the man was arrested in his garage at home on Wednesday on suspicion of having damaged national security with his intelligence-related activity. The arrest warrant from the district court says, among other things, that the police found records of the man's assignment dialogue with a person who was apparently guiding his espionage activity, according to the NRK. The man has admitted to collecting and sharing information with Russian and Iranian authorities, the court order said. It is too early to talk about details of the man's activity. PST spokesperson Thomas Blom told the news conference Thursday night. PST has confirmed the man was employed as a security guard at the embassy in Oslo. There are no other suspects in this case at this point. Now, he has admitted that he's worked with foreign countries, but he won't plead guilty to espionage. Which, I mean, hey, I get it, man. You got to hold your frame. You're not really trying to go to jail, I guess. But it just seemed pretty cooked, in my opinion. But we'll see. I'll definitely keep you posted on the blow by blow there if I can. At least any big updates. They talk about another instance, too, of some espionage. One of the people the West swapped with Russia in a major prisoner exchange in August was a UIT guest researcher who claimed to be a Brazilian named Jose Assis Guilherme, arrested on espionage allegations in 2022. The police revealed him to be Russian Mikhail Valerievich Mikushin. So, bit of a flashback there, but, you know, hey, spy shit be spy shit. Y'all know whenever I hear something like this, I'm kind of drawn to it, you know, and it's good. I mean, the last time we talked about like any kind of leaked information or stuff like that, that was Jack Teixeira, but that was different. You know what I mean? That's a whole, like, I feel like this kid wasn't trying to be a spy. He was just trying to be a cool guy. And, you know, it just bit him in the ass. Like, this was back to basics, you know. This is a kid. I mean, I'm saying a kid, but a guy in his 20s. Who's like, hey, I'm assuming he's getting money, some kind of compensation for what he's doing. And his handler's like, yeah, just give us the information that you got. And he's like, yeah, I got information to give you, baby doll. And, you know, so it went. But anyway, got another update here. Well, not another, a update here, I should say. This is from Dexter. I can never pronounce. I think it's Dexter 2. Dexter 2. Fuck Dexter 2. Whatever the fuck it's called. I'm not a big fan of this outlet. I know I'm talking shit of an outlet I use. Thank you, though. Thank you for your information. But, like, this to me is like it's like Kotaku or, you know, just the New York Post equivalent of gaming news kind of thing. So, you know, sometimes they do solid work like I feel like we got here. Other times it's like, you know, Pokimane changed her hair. Wow, that's crazy. It's curly. Did you know that? Like, it's like, what? I could have figured that out just by, like, Googling her or looking at her, you know, X account. Like, X the everything out, of course, you know? So I was like, well, what are we doing here? This isn't news, but all right. Anyway. Mr. Beast finally responds to allegations and will likely sue Dogpack 404. Mr. Beast sat down for an extensive 2-hour and 37-minute interview with Oompaville. I've never heard of this guy before, so when I was like, oh, okay, Oompaville. Apparently his real name is Caleb, if I'm not mistaken. One where he addressed a vast majority of allegations against him and his production house. During this in-depth conversation, Jimmy, Mr. Beast, methodically addressed each allegation made by his former employee, Dogpack 404, and numerous others. In the description of the video, the YouTube star has provided a public document with his official statements and images as evidence. These accusations include claims of fake giveaways, the use of CGI to manipulate content in his videos, cryptocurrency scandals, allegations of child labor in the production of his Feastables chocolate, and mold found in Lunchly meals. I'll try to get to as many of these as we can within reasonable fashion. Obviously, we're not gonna go into play by play the whole thing. It's 2 hours 37 minutes. I haven't really even fucking sat down and watched it. I probably don't even know if I will. I feel like I get the gist of it here, and but yeah, let's dig in. Now with Mr. Beast, he says the reason he was slow to even get to talking about it coming out with this was like, well, there were so many people that had to get interviewed and talked to, and the people like my third party and that was like doing this whole investigation and everything, they told me, hey, you shouldn't come out with anything until we're done with our investigation. And then you can say something. Also, he felt like a style of video of just like kind of coming out, like just him saying like, hey, let me address all these allegations. He's like, yeah, that's just not really the way I like to do it. So, but he also added, he's like, if I could go back, I would do something like this, what I'm doing right now with you, sooner, and that would have been better. But that sounds like vaporware to me. That sounds like, and honestly, if I'm being, just to kind of TDLR a little bit here, kind of going down throughout all this, I don't believe any of the shit that Mr. Beast is saying. I just do not believe it. Maybe at the top of this arc, before we really got into the nitty gritty, maybe you could have convinced me that some of this is just all bullshit. But like, I've just seen so much that it's hard to really just dispute it, especially even with this. Like, even with the things he's saying, it feels like he's leaving these kind of like legal kind of gaps to kind of give himself the wiggle room to get out of it. But let's continue. He does go on to say that he is most likely going to sue Dogpack 404. He hasn't officially done it, but he's saying like, I got people in the works here, and they're more or less telling me that it's going to be like the easiest lawsuit ever. And it's like, sure, maybe so. And I mean, that makes sense because Dogpack 404 stopped putting out videos on this, and he was like, hey, I'm already getting calls here, so this is like, the video I'm doing here is going to be like my last one for a while, probably. So that all lines up. But just reading a bit here, he explained, what do you do if someone is just spreading misinformation about you and causing harm to your business? Like getting to the point where you might have to actually fire people because it's costing so much revenue. Mr. Beast accused Dogpack of posting flat-out manipulation and lies in his videos, adding, I have people pull out millions of dollars and tell me that it was because of his videos. And in a way, yes, that part is true, but like also I've seen situations where people are like, yeah, dude, I can't fuck with you. I can't use you. I can't work with you because like I'm seeing these things and you're not coming out and saying anything to dispute it. Like there's just nothing here, dude. Also, I don't know if this, I think there's a guy called Soggy Cereal or some shit. He came out with a video. Also another one I haven't really checked, but I just kind of read an article about it where he disputes Dogpack 404's videos, or like the stuff that's mentioned in those videos, and he tries to systematically say, oh, I actually tried to cross-reference all of this shit, and it seems like it's all wanting. It doesn't seem like there's any real merit to this. And added, there like is a clip of I forget Dogpack's actual name. I know his last name is French, but essentially it's him talking to, I believe, the COO at the time or whatever, and he's like pleading and begging for his job back because he's about to lose it. And that's something I've referenced before in talking about this in terms of maybe that's some potential motivation, but also something I've talked about before that I personally do not like, that I see a lot of these young YouTubers do, or at least in this specific situation with Dogpack, but now it's being used kind of almost against him, is the Soggy Cereal guy does this content cop bit, and it's like, dude, like, don't you understand that when you try to make light of these things and make a joke out of it, maybe it gets you some more fucking views, but it fucking douses water on the shit that you're saying, and it doesn't make it feel legitimate. It makes it feel like you're doing a spoof. So, you know, I'm going to add that same kind of condemnation on that as well. But in some ways, that kind of does more work than Mr. Beast does, because Mr. Beast references that in the Oompaville video, where he's like, look, Soggy goes through and says all of that shit is false. Like, there you go, right there. That correlates with what I'm telling you, that is false. It's fake shit. It's disinformation. So, you know, maybe for some people that they latch onto that and they go, okay, no, that's fair. But I mean, once again, I think that there's going to be a vague level of wiggle room for Mr. Beast here in a lot of these situations. And he's probably going to skate away with it. I don't think he's going to like face any kind of jail time or any legal ramifications. But like, when you look at this shit, to me, it definitely changed my view of Mr. Beast as a whole. Before all of this shit, I would just been like, yeah, he's a content freak. But do I think he's like super evil or whatever? No, I just think he's, you know, a part of the system that we call fucking capitalism. But there are people who go out of their way to become exceptional weird freaks of this shit, and I think Mr. Beast definitely falls in that category now, you know? Or maybe I should say smack some allegedly here. I don't know. I don't want to get sued either. But let's keep going. Talk about these fake giveaways. Mr. Beast has also been accused by Dogpack404 of faking some of his past giveaways in competitions. Specifically, the former employee pointed out that a competition stream lacked a no purchase necessary disclaimer in the description, implying that the giveaway was an illegal lottery. To which Mr. Beast responded, "I don't think we did. I have people looking into it and trying to pull the footage and figure it out." He mentioned that the two specific accusations have since been already disproven by Content Cop, calling the claims crazy, which I believe is the Soggy cereal guy. Maybe I'm wrong there. I don't know. Jimmy also offered a refund option for anyone who felt wrong, stating, "If people want a refund or think we did something wrong, I will send you a link where they can get a refund." There's something very key to me about using the word think to a response to a statement like that. You should know whether what you are doing or not doing is illegal. Like, I don't know, man. Once again, you're supposed to be running this shit, brother. Like, at the end of the day, it's crazy how loose it was up until the point that someone's pointing a real finger at you saying you're doing something very wrong here, dude. So to say, I don't think we're wrong, that's already fucking Swiss cheese to me. I already go, boo, I don't know, man, suspect. Anyway, fake content using CGI. Dogpack and others have accused Mr. Beast of faking his content in several ways, one of which was by claiming he uses CGI to manipulate the outcome of a video. Jimmy denied these claims, stating, "Rampant use of CGI in general can undermine YouTube videos." He emphasized that his team invests millions into creating massive sets, and they work hard to make everything look real. "The last thing I want is for people to be like questioning whether or not these things are CGI," he explained. He also revealed that they sometimes spend hundreds of days just literally building one room for one shot in a video. While discussing potential solutions, he mentioned possibly adding timestamps or a Beast logo to indicate CGI elements. I mean, sure, you could slap it on there and we're just supposed to believe you, I suppose. Or not slap it on there and we're supposed to believe that. However, he clarified, "We just don't use it that much," which, once again, another holds me. So you're saying you do use it, right? And expressed his concern about maintaining trust. "What I really don't want is people to not be able to trust my videos just because occasionally I want to make a wall black or extend the set a bit to make it look cooler." It's like, brother, you're already augmenting reality. Like, once again, there's fucking mud, blood in the water. And I just want to specifically separate that because I'm not on some J.K. Rowling shit. I didn't know what I wanted to use for that sentence, so I just used both. But, like, no, this is tainted. Like, people are not going to believe you that this shit is real. Like, I'm sorry, me personally, I'm like, no, this is like worse than Survivor. Like, I used to kind of think that these videos like maybe just had a little bit of production slant, but like after that shit, I'm like, no, this is definitely guided. You know, maybe we should have believed more people saying like, hey, this shit is just not real. Like, you know, they're moving this shit around to make it look cooler, you know, for a video, which now seems just so blatant to me. It seems very believable. But then let's move to the crypto scandal. We've talked about this a couple times. Mr. Beast was previously accused of insider trading following a report that he claimed He allegedly profited from the sale of Polychain Monsters, PMON, and JigStack, or Stack, earning millions of dollars based on information about his business partner KSI's promotion of these crypto coins. They reference CoffeeZilla here. They take a bit of a different interpretation of the video than the other article I'd used, but it's kind of more to what I was saying, like, hey, he doesn't actually think that you can say Jimmy did it. But there's definitely enough evidence that Jimmy's name is here. He's involved. It's just there's also other people involved in this crypto wallet. So, once again, he has like the perfect deniability here. So, you can kind of take what you want out of the situation. I do think that he's involved in some kind of like, rug pull pump and dump situations, or at least he has been. But once again, it's the perfect crime. Like, maybe it is. I don't know. Where, like, once again, there's so many hands in the cookie jar. You can't come in and say, who did it? You did it. Like, you can't do that. Like, everyone's kind of like, well, it wasn't me. I didn't do it. But the money moved. There was money coming in and out of this wallet all the time. So, that just is what that is. Maybe law enforcement gets involved. Maybe they don't. I'm kind of guessing they don't. Let's move on, though, from that to the child slave labor and Feastables production. Regarding the production of his Feastables chocolate, Mr. Beast has had allegations of unethical practices taking place. Oomaville stated that this was after fans noticed the company's website removed the claim that Feastables chocolate was child labor and slave labor free. Mr. Beast responded to the allegations, calling them flat out lies and that it was severe disinformation. We're no longer misinformation now. You're like, nah, that's fucked up. You really fucking should know my name now. He explained that if creators had questions, they could have simply contacted him for facts instead of making false accusations via YouTube videos and urged them to delete them. Jimmy then clarified that if Feastables Coca is that all Feastables Coca is ethically sourced and 100% fair trade certified, adding that this was the most expensive certification you can get and that they pay a living income reference price to all farmers. Man, I fucking hope so. I do vaguely remember that, like hearing that had came off the wrapper. And it feels very suspicious. Why would you take it off? Like, you know what I mean? It seems like maybe someone looked into it and was like, oh, maybe that's not 100%. And they go, okay, well, we'll just take it off the wrapper instead of fixing the issue. That's what it looks like. That's just how it plays out to the public. Sorry, not sorry. That's just how that is. They talk about the moldy Lunchley shit. I'll summarize this quicker. Essentially, he says, that's not on me. It's completely good when it leaves our facilities. And more or less, he's painting the stores, the grocers, distributors, whoever. That's on them. It's not on me. But that doesn't ring true to me as well, because that's the same fucking argument that he used for the Mr. Beast Burger shit. Like, very similar. Where he's like, look, dude, my name's just kind of on this shit. Like, I thought it was good up until, apparently it's getting to it's getting to the customer and it's not good. Like, very much, it feels very similar of a defense or excuse for like why your product is shitty, but your name is all up on it. It's like, well, it was good. It was good when I had it. It was good when I saw it, and now it's not good. And essentially with these Lunchlys, he's like saying, hey, it was good. It was perfect, when it was in the facilities, in the factory, whatever. And then it somehow, I don't know what happened. I don't know what they did to it, but it was good. There was no mold in the Lunchley when we was making it. Quality ingredients only. Like, brother, there's been multiple cases of this mold, brother. I don't know what to tell you. Also, Rosanna Pansino has gotten mentioned again, because she mentioned that shit. And hey, I'm back on team. I'm back on team Pansino. You know what I mean? We love a hater. Especially when you write. Damn, it just is what it is. Let's see here. I feel like that's more or less it. That kind of goes through all the rundown of the allegations, via Dextro, whatever the fuck you pronounce it. Anyway, I'm gonna take a water break, and then we gotta talk about Ye. We gotta talk about a Ye update. Another lawsuit's going down the pipe. Oh man. Like I said, doing better, but not quite. From People. Kanye West sued for assault of America's Next Top Model alum Jen Ann during 2010 music video shoot. Reports. America's Next Top Model alum Jen Ann is suing Kanye West for allegedly assaulting her by choking her and ramming his fingers down her throat during the filming of a music video. I believe, yeah, it was for LaRue's song "In for the Kill." And I gotta say, I was a big fan of this song growing up. I believe I've seen the music video at least once or twice. There's no need for this. Like, there's no need for what I've described, like, happening to her, like, what is alleged. Like, there's just no reason for that to have happened to her, for her to get strangled, and then at some point he puts his fingers down her throat, like, with the camera watching. That's weird. Also, it's worth noting that that shot is not in the video at all. Like, it doesn't make the final cut, which definitely feels like something that, like, hey, Kanye West just wanted this to happen, and he uses his power to make it happen. Summarizing this a bit, he more or less picks her out. She's in lingerie and everything. And, like, she's, like, more or less mentions this to him. Like, I imagine maybe say, like, oh, do you want me to, like, switch wardrobes or whatever? He's like, no. That's why I picked you. And he also, which is very I don't want to say kind of, it's very unsettling, where he goes, yeah, I want the Asian girl. And it's like, dude, that's not good verbiage, man. Like, I'm not even going to blame that on early aughts behavior. You don't need to do that. But, yeah, like, she mentions, like, yeah, I'm not wearing much. And he's like, yeah, that's why I chose you. And all the other models and stuff leave. It's just the film crew. And he proceeds to do this, and I just want to summarize it, you know, if you want to read and get the full details, by all means. But afterwards, Ann also claimed that the rapper screamed, "This is art. This is fucking art. I'm like Picasso," as he choked her. So, I mean, goddamn, dude, like, that's so unnecessary. Like, this doesn't make any sense for this video at all. It's not needed. So, also, it's mentioned that Universal Music Group, UMG, is also named as a co-defendant because they failed to investigate the incident. The lawsuit stated that West gendered, hateful, and abusive controversies were a brand which was too profitable for defendant UMG to intervene, despite its unlawful conduct, which I'm kind of prone to agree with that statement, because Adidas was in a very similar situation until, like, Kanye West was just getting louder and louder and louder and more abrasive and more anti-Semitic, and it was just like, yeah, dude, we cannot, like, you're making our reputation look like World War II bad. We can't do this shit, brother. No. So, you know, it makes that just kind of adds up. There was a lot of people or a lot of entities, I should say, that were like, yeah, man, like, you are important to us. Yes, you're a brand risk, but you'd be such a loss now if we let you go. We already have so much money invested into you too. We're making so much money off of you. So that does not make it okay to do the things or allow the things that Ye was doing. You know what I mean? So, and maybe even is continuing to do. There's another thing they mentioned here that I haven't really talked about, but I've heard this story before. I'm actually going to scroll down to it. Mentioning this is one of several lawsuits. Last week, his former Yeezy employee, Murphy Aficionado, filed 12 complaints against him and his companies, Yeezy LLC and Donda Academy, for discrimination, harassment, retaliation, and more. Aficionado accused the rapper of making anti-Semitic comments, including, "The Jews got Kim Kardashian," his ex-wife, "and my kids." West reportedly made discriminatory comments about Aficionado's Filipino ancestry and allegedly told him to remove his ugly traditional Filipino tattoos called batok. In the complaint obtained by People, Aficionado, who worked as a project manager for Yeezy for 9 months, claimed that he experienced unlawful termination and he was not compensated for his work, which is something I've heard a lot out of a lot of former Ye employees, is that they keep getting shafted on money, which is so fucked up to me. Like, if you're going to put me through fucking hell, that's already one thing. But then to not give me the money that's fucking promised is a whole fucking other, dude. Like, this motherfucker got it. He also alleged that West told him to come into a hotel room where he and his then girlfriend, Bianca Sensory, were having sex, and then put on a t-shirt with a swastika design on it. Great. Love that. West's former assistant Also sued him in October. We already know about that. That is the Lauren Pisciata story. So I'm not really going to go too much into that. But yeah, that is another ongoing lawsuit. So, I mean, throw another one on the Bobby, I guess. I don't know. Goddamn. But am I surprised by this? No. This seems like very much classic gay behavior. We just really didn't know what was happening until, what is it, a year or two ago, right? So, but also, once again, like, signs were pointing to this even, like 2016 and onward? Like, goddamn. So, it just is what it is, I guess. Sometimes it turns out the people that you might have looked up to or liked, or even some people have called a genius, turns out to be a unholy piece of shit demon. It's just how it goes sometimes. But anyway, let's take our last break, and I actually have another update, actually a real update, like the Mr. Beast one. But yeah, let me take a water break and just last break in general. Feel free to take one with me, and yeah, we'll close this thing out. Ooh. I'm in peak podcasting mode when I have like 3 beverages like open and ready to go. Ooh. That's like me at like Super Saiyan potential. Anyway, from Denver 7, ABC. Or maybe it's Denver ABC 7. Who knows? Maybe I switched it up. Ooh-wee. I'm switching something up right now. Colorado funeral home owners who let nearly 190 bodies decay plead guilty to corpse abuse. The owners of a Colorado funeral home who let nearly 190 bodies decay in a room temperature building and gave grieving families fake ashes pleaded guilty on Friday to corpse abuse. The judge accepted the plea, but will reverse judgment on whether to accept the plea agreement until sentencing, which is scheduled for April 18th. John and Carrie Halford, who own the Return to Nature funeral home, began storing bodies in a decrepit building near Colorado Springs as far back as 2019 and gave families dry concrete in place of cremated remains, according to the charges. The grim discovery last year upended families' grieving processes. Plea deals reached between the defendants, and prosecutors called for John Halford to receive a 20-year prison sentence and Carrie Halford to receive 15 to 20 years in prison. Over the years, the Halfords spent extravagantly, prosecutors say. They used customers' money and nearly $900,000 in pandemic relief funds to buy laser body sculpting, fancy cars, trips to Las Vegas and Florida, $31,000 in cryptocurrency, and other luxury items, according to court records. But all the while, bodies were piling up, just on top of each other, just strewn about in this facility. This just looks like a rundown shack almost. I mean, almost. That's what it looks like. You can kind of see a little bit of it in the thumbnail. And essentially, I remember talking about this. It was so bad. The stench was so bad. Like, other residents nearby were like, something's going on here. Like, we can smell something. It's coming from there. And that's never a good sign. You know that whenever you're going to crack that can open, it's not going to taste like Juneberry. That's for fucking sure. So at the end of the day, like, to know that this all happened, and this is important too, because that's why another reason why I wanted to read what they did with it, because their excuse was, hey, look, we're just a mom and pop. We just got a bit behind, and it just kind of kept stacking up on us, to use a pun there. And it's like, no, dude, you guys weren't just some overwhelmed mom and pop operation and it just got ahead of you. You guys were lying to the people you were supposed to be giving this kind of closure to. You know what I mean? You were desecrating these people's bodies. And at the end of the day, to do it, not be, and don't get me wrong, it's not like it would be an excuse because you were overwhelmed. Like, okay, well, you were overwhelmed to a criminally negligent extent. Like, no, you did this for your own vanity. You were taking money, you were doing a scheme, and you did it to not just these people, you did it also to the government. And it's like, I mean, hey, if you get a good scam on the government, you get a good scam on the government. That's whatever. That's neither here nor there to me at the end of the day. I'm not a cop. But when I see that it's happening to people, as a person who's had to go through this process more than once, that's terrible. You know what I mean? And I'm very thankful that the funeral operators, like the people who worked the home, the people who handled it, like I have my dad's ashes, in my living room. Not to be weird or creepy or whatever, but like there's a certain solace that I have knowing that's my dad. You know what I mean? I couldn't imagine how it would feel to like go back to that and be like, oh, it's actually cement concrete. It's not actually dad. It's not actually pop. You know what I mean? Like, that breaks my heart just thinking about it. So, obviously, fuck these people. Fuck the Halfords. See y'all motherfuckers at Tomato Town. And, yeah, I mean, there is a chance that this doesn't get accepted by the judge and they have to wind up going to trial. But if that's the case, then I think their plea deal won't be used against them, according to the judge or something like that. So, there you go. There's a bit of an update there. Bit of news there. It's a bit long of an episode, but I got to talk a bit, and I'm not back. I'm not full strength, but felt good to yap. Felt good to talk. So yeah. Let's see here. I won't do any shilling. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend, and hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Goodbye. Mwah.